This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. It is a challenging time in our lives. There's a lot going on, and many of us are dealing with different things, many different things. And that could be anxiety, depression. Maybe you feel stuck and you're not moving forward in your life. Many different things going on there. I'm refreshed to see that there is a ministry that can help give you the key to unlock change in your life. And we're going to talk with the woman behind that. She is an author, speaker, coach. She's a pastor, and she joins us today. Forshia Ross is on the program. Welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing well here in Rhode Island.
I don't think I've ever done a podcast with somebody from Rhode Island.
You know, it's the smallest state in the union, but we're still here. We have a big heart. Small but big heart.
And honestly, I've felt that and detected that because I've been there a few times. I'm on Long Island, and I just take the ferry all the way at the east end of Long Island and goes to Connecticut, right around Mystic. I'm trying to think of where the hub is, and then I just get in a car and just drive a little bit east, and I'm in Rhode Island.
Very interesting. Often people will think I live in Long Island instead of Rhode Island. Not everybody thinks about this smallest state in the union, so I always have to correct them.
But it really is true when you drive through it. Yeah. So again, I got Connecticut here and Rhode Island over here. You drive through it, you're already through it before you even know it.
It's 40 miles long and 20 miles wide.
Wow. And I have to say, lots of very nice homes on the water. I mean, that's part of the experience, right?
Yes.
Your ministry, very unique in that it helps people overcome many things that they're going through. Like we talked about depression, we talked about some of the other challenges that we have in life. What are some of those other things that your ministry can support?
Well, the reason that I believe that I can help people overcome many different things is because I've been there. When you've been there, then you have somewhat of an authority to speak into people's lives because they say, hey, if you've overcome something, then I can overcome the same thing. And so it all comes from my background, which was pretty traumatic in my life.
I would very much appreciate if you could share some with us. And I very much respect those who walk the walk and talk the talk. And that's what we're talking about here. What you help and support people with through your ministry, I'm detecting that it comes from your life. So how did this all begin for you?
Yes. Well, I'm from a military background. My father was Army, and he was a tough military man. So I didn't realize it at the time, but I married right out of high school. Part of it was to get away from home. I didn't realize it then because my father was very strict that I married an alcoholic. Within 2 weeks, he didn't come home. He would be gone, and right out of high school, I didn't know how to drive, and got pregnant right away. And here I was with a little baby and no husband, really. So the marriage didn't last long. But believe it or not, I know people say, Forshia, what were you thinking? Well, I wasn't thinking. About a couple of years after that, I remarried to an ex-convict, I thought he was reformed drug addict, but he was not. And by the time I left that marriage, we were living in a condemned building. He had contracts out on people. He even dated one of the Manson family girls. So it was a really very traumatic life. And I started struggling with some depression outside of that marriage. So I can keep going. You want me to keep going?
Um, if you're comfortable with it, what a story
I
so far.
am. I am. Um, so believe it or not, again, within I think a year and a half, I remarried to my present husband, by the way, and we're still married.
But
I,
like they
I,
say, third time's a charm.
third time's a charm, but there's a reason for that. But I took all that baggage into that marriage. He was a captain in the Air Force. One of the reasons I decided to marry him was hopefully it's because I loved him, but I don't think I really knew what love. I was looking for love in all the wrong places, but he was a captain and owned his own home and we married in 6 weeks, believe it or not. 6 weeks. We're still married, by the way.
Wow.
There's a reason for that. You know, some things you just really can't overcome without the help of an outside source that's bigger than us.
Mm.
And that would be God. So anyway, I took all this baggage into this marriage. And to be honest with you, you talk about being honest. I'm very honest. And early on, I knew my life was going to be like an open book. And so I almost destroyed him. But he was very faithful and he kept staying with me. But at that time, Steve, can I call you Steve?
You absolutely can.
At that time, I was at a quandary. I was going back to college, and I realized that I thought college would help me feel better about myself. But I didn't like who I'd become, but I couldn't seem to change it. College wasn't helping. And then this woman we met at a military party, um, I happened to just tell her all my problems, and I didn't even know her that well, but there was something about her. There was, it was hard to explain. I know what it is now, but at the time it was hard to explain. I felt accepted from her, even though she didn't say, you know how you can feel accepted from someone and they don't necessarily say, "Oh, I accept you," but there's something about them
Yeah.
that you
Yeah,
feel,
absolutely connected
yeah,
and a certain level of respect.
right. And so I let my guard down, told her all my issues in life, which, well, I mean, I had even been uh, raped at one time. I mean, I had gone through a lot. And she told me about Jesus, but that made me angry. It really did. I, you know, I didn't want to hear about that. I mean, all I knew about God was that you had to bow down to him and do everything he said. That I'd done that with the men in my life. I sure didn't want to do it with. So
I gotta tell you,
anyway,
I love you already.
oh, do you?
You are so real. And many questions. Continue, please.
Oh,
But
and you
this,
can interrupt me, Steve, please. If you have a question, just interrupt me.
I want to hear the rest of your story
All right.
first. I really
So
do.
anyway, but she pursued me.
Hmm.
She kept pursuing me.
All right, here's my
All
first
right.
question.
Yeah.
At this juncture, did you feel like, oh gosh, this woman's like a, and I'm just going to use this term, it's been used,
Okay.
before, a holy roller. She's just trying to convert me. She's, why is she pursuing
Yeah.
me? Did you feel that way at that time?
Sorta, but this is interesting. And again, I'm going back to then because I didn't have the words for it then, but
Hmm.
I understand it now. I would ask her all these questions, Steve, and she would have an answer for everything. The thing is, I didn't understand them because they were spiritual.
Mm,
She quoted the Bible. I didn't understand the Bible. I never really read the Bible,
hmm.
but this was interesting. When she talked, this is going to sound strange, but it's like I saw a power kind of come out of her mouth. It was like her voice changed and it sounded like a little bit otherworldly. It scared me a little bit, but I knew there was something there that was drawing me. And so she kept pursuing me. And then one day she said, "Okay, it's time." And I thought, oh boy, here she comes again.
Mm.
And she said, "Are you ready to turn your life over to God?" And I got angry with her. And I yelled at her and I said, I mean, hearing me now, Steve, do I sound like someone that would yell at someone?
No, no.
I know, but I was a different person at that time. And I told her to leave me alone. The thing is, I was the one that was asking her all these questions. And she said, "Well, you're going to have to make a decision." And I knew that there were some supernatural things that were happening in my life. For instance, I'll share one. The time's going to go by fast, isn't it?
Quite all right.
So during that time, uh, we had to go to a military party, and I was going to college to be a fashion designer. So I made my own clothes. I had long hair. I mean, this was, the 70s. So I had long hair down to my waist. And so I thought, I'm going to fix my hair into like a Japanese style. So I took my JK volume of my encyclopedia down from my bookshelf. And I thought, I'm going to look under, Japan just to see if I can get some ideas. We didn't have Google then, right? Couldn't Google it.
Mm.
The volume literally fell open on my lap to Jesus Christ. And it scared me. I saw on the left side El Greco's painting of Jesus Christ, and I read all about it. So when she said, "You've got to make a decision," there were some unusual things happening to me.
Mm.
And I was not raised in the church, so I couldn't fall back on that.
Sure.
And so I sat there at my kitchen table. Imagine that. I wasn't in church. I sat at my kitchen table and I asked him to take over my life. And everything changed. It was a very dramatic conversion. But I would struggle with depression years after that because I still needed a lot. Even if you ask God into your life or, if you ask Christ into your life, um, it's not a magic wand. You he needs like a cooperation to bring some revelation and healing in your life from past issues and
Sure.
things, attitudes, stuff like that. So I struggled for a number of years with depression, but I didn't know at the time that God was going to use all I had been through to bring forth a ministry to help people. And so never would
Mm.
I have known that I would be called into this realm of
Wow.
helping people.
At what point did you begin the ministry?
Oh, this is a funny story. So one day I sensed an impression from God in my heart that I should start a Bible study in my home. My husband was stationed at the Pentagon at the time, so we were in the DC area. So I thought, oh, I'm no teacher. I'll just share my testimony, and I've got a good testimony, right? How I was and how I am now and how God helped me. And so I thought, I'll just invite all my friends to come over. And only two people showed up. And I thought, well, I don't know if I should be,
Mm.
but it was strong. I shared my testimony, but people loved it so much. They started inviting people. And then I started getting invitations to speak at church. My first church was an African church in DC. I started getting invitations to do conferences, and that's how it started. And it
Wow.
has grown internationally. And now a documentary has been made about my life that's won over 30 film festivals internationally and nationally, Steve, and not just with Christian film festivals. These are Muslim film festivals. I thought this is wild.
Where have you been? How come you're not on my radar? I'm glad you are
Well,
now.
that's why I want to get involved with you guys. I think people need to hear more about what I have to offer. You,
I truly love what you do and your approach to it because you don't come off as somebody that's, and I don't mean anything negative here, even when I said those words, holy roller before,
I get it.
it, but you're not pushing anything. You're just saying,
No,
hey, there's another way
no,
to look at things. Maybe that's
yeah,
through the eyes of God. Um,
yeah.
your life
Mm,
much earlier, I detect because
mm.
of your father's situation that you were just looking for approval from people, men in your life.
You
And
got it. Yeah,
yeah, and I find it interesting or not
yeah.
that you the third time you married somebody who was also in the military.
I
So
know.
so part of me, and I'm far from a therapist, it
Yeah.
almost looks as if you were looking for your dad in somebody else to give you that approval and acceptance, and understandably so. Would you say that's true?
Absolutely. And you need to read my second book because what you just said is all in there.
Mm.
Yeah,
And what
go
what
ahead.
what you what you experienced and your life there
Hmm.
in my journey of talking to people and me personally,
Hmm.
um, we all do it. We all go through
Yeah,
it.
we do.
You talk to any therapist, every single one of us,
Yeah,
not just because of our parents or because of our
yeah.
parents, but everything. As
Yeah.
a child, we walk around
Mhm.
feeling that we're not worthy.
You're right. You're right. And and some, I mean, I think everybody has to overcome something in their childhood. It can be small.
Oh, absolutely. It
The
could be,
imprinting of the parents is very powerful, whether small or big.
yeah, yeah.
And one day I was sitting across from my husband and I made spaghetti. I have this wonderful recipe and he said something negative and all of a sudden it was like my father's face was transposed over his. And I remember thinking, "What?" And that's when I began to see that everything really stemmed from my relationship with my father.
I
You
totally
know,
understand it. And same over
yeah.
here. Um,
Oh,
yeah, my
mm,
parents got divorced. I
yep.
was not barely even born,
Mm,
and didn't see my father a lot.
yeah.
And there's some good there, some bad in the whole situation.
Yeah.
And then he suddenly passed when I was 21, and that was another mind blow situation.
Mm.
Um, going to ask you a real important question.
Okay.
Let's say somebody's on the fence about this God thing, and they
Mhm.
haven't. They're like, I think there's a God out there, and I think it
Mhm.
would help me, but I haven't taken the next step. I want to believe, I want to accept,
Mhm.
but they're just not there, and they don't know why they can't just dive in as you did. What would you tell them?
First of all, I would tell them that you don't have to clean yourself up first. That's often
Mm,
a big hindrance to coming to God. I mean, God is perfect, right? I mean, even if you don't believe in him, we kind of figure he's perfect. So that's would be number one. And the other one, if someone is really struggling to do what I did, uh, I say this. I said, ask God if Jesus Christ is real, and He will show you. I promise you.
mm,
And God will show Himself to that person and it will fit just right for that person because Steve, God created each individual. He knows exactly how he created that person, and he knows how to reveal himself to them. That's what I would say. And then I'd say, come back to me.
Ah, and I would say thank you for sharing that. And I would also
Mm,
add that be open to seeing it
yes.
because when that encyclopedia dropped and
Oh,
it landed
no.
on that page, there was a reason for that
Yeah.
turning point in your life, but also at the same time, if
Yeah.
you didn't connect with that page, you might not be doing what you're doing today. So have the open mind. And I'm a firm believer, and I could go on and on and on, 15 million podcasts here. Ask
Oh,
for a sign and you'll get it.
that's right.
But you
Thank you.
have to look for it and you have to be open
Yes.
to it.
Yes.
And I'm a skeptic and
Yeah.
I need a specific sign. If a butterfly going by supports somebody, if a penny heads up is good for you, even if that's a sign from your a loved one that has passed,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. If that makes you feel good, I need specifics. I need to be pushed off the
Yeah.
cliff of belief.
Because I would say, let him reveal himself to you that he is real. Jesus is real. Yeah.
Hmm. And,
Yeah.
and by the way, I'm not saying this in a negative way.
Uh,
When I say ask for a specific sign,
mhm.
I get them. I get
Well, you
them.
must be very sensitive to the spiritual realm.
Um,
No?
I yes. Let's just say I get them from my mom, and she passed 6 years ago, and I've talked about this before. They are so specific,
Mm.
so specific. There's no, I'll take it to the end. There is no doubt that it's coming from her direction because she's showing me things. However, I wrestle with this, and
What
this
is
is recent, and I want to ask you this
it?
before we close
Okay.
out today.
Okay.
If you think a sign is coming from a loved one that has passed, is there a chance that it's actually coming from God?
I believe God can use that, but I also believe we need to be careful about some signs coming from people that have passed. Um, So that's what I would say because we want to get our signs, if you want to use the word signs, or
Mhm.
hear the voice of God. I believe we can hear the voice of God. Believe it or not, people are surprised. I've never heard his voice audibly, but I've heard him in my heart. And in
Mm.
my mind, I get thoughts sometimes and I think that can't be my thought. That idea can't be from me. It's too good. So, the bottom line is Jesus Christ needs to be first. So does that
Okay.
help? Did I
I see that, and
Yeah,
honestly, my pondering of where the sign comes, whether it's from a past loved one or God,
yeah,
why am I even asking that?
yeah. Okay.
Because I was in church, and just what you said is what was said. This is about 2 months ago.
Really?
Yes. So that's I was like,
Hmm.
oh, maybe that isn't just mom sending me that. Maybe that is connected to this God.
Well,
Uh,
it can't. Am I allowed to ask you a question?
please do.
Oh, well, why were you in church? Did someone invite you or uh,
I was in church because I like the feeling.
yeah, it does
And
feel good.
I'll be, here you ask, I answer.
Yeah.
I was raised Catholic.
Okay.
I would go to a Catholic church.
Hmm.
They even asked me to read. Can you have a good voice? Can you read this? And I would go every other week I would read.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't know what I was reading. I'd
Yeah.
have to like check the
Yeah.
pronunciations. I
Yeah.
felt disconnected from the whole situation. So
Yeah.
then I pivoted over to just a Christian church
Yeah.
that a recommendation of somebody a couple of years ago. Um, and I love the feel, the vibe, the community, the music. That's very important to me.
Oh, yeah, me
Um,
too.
and that's it. I don't go
Yeah.
every week. Got things going on, life happens and everything. But um, when I go, I get things. And just what I presented to you, that came from church. And I
Wow.
didn't ask the
Yeah.
question. It just came up. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that makes me wonder. Let's make
Yeah.
things. But my favorite part about any church, and you have to find the one that fits you, um, is when you can relate to it. And I still remember 10 years ago, I was in church, and the priest at the time was talking about a comic strip.
Mhm.
And I still remember his talk because it was relatable. I love comic strips,
That's right.
but
That's right.
but it
That's
connected.
right.
So
That's
yeah,
right.
I
And
think
as Steve, um, I believe God is after you. I'm being bold here. He wants a personal relationship with you through Jesus Christ. I'm gonna pray for you.
well, I appreciate that, and I'll be asking for that sign as well. Um,
Oh, amen. Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Oh, what? It's more than 30 minutes,
it is, but and
and we can't get it all in, right? It's only a 30-minute program because
we're out
it's
of
so
time. But
good, I
I have to
think.
I have to share this with you.
Okay.
This is a mind blow.
What?
I am not. Do you want a sign?
Yes.
I looked up at your website just now,
Yes.
and it says no secondhand Rose.
Yes.
My mom's name was Rose,
Really? Yeah, that's my story.
and
Oh,
it's like I got another
you're
sign.
tearing up. I think.
And where do you get I'm staring at it, and I didn't even see it before. That's crazy.
Oh,
That's
this is
crazy. Or
this is
not.
this
Wow.
is wonderful.
Uh,
You've blessed me. You've made my day.
Likewise.
Yeah.
How do we connect with you? How do we find out more about the ministry and everything that you do?
Okay. Well, the website, I know over the air, it's forshiaross.org. You've got to make sure you spell my name right.
Hmm.
F is in Frank, Orshia, uh, Ross.org. And you can connect with me through email on the website too. I have a lot of resources too. I have an overcoming depression workshop
Mm.
online. I also do it in person. I do prophetic. That's another thing we could talk about maybe next time, prophetic mentoring too with people. And I would love to, if someone wants to invite me to come and speak, I love to do that. I love people, you
Mm.
know. And I'm very real and I'm funny too. I can be funny.
Well, that starts with being real, and they don't get more genuine than you. Portia, wonderful talking with you. Thank you for what you're doing. Looking so very forward to getting together with you next time and digging deeper into the ministry and how we can help
Yeah.
people.
All right. God bless you and
God bless you
everyone that's
too.
watching.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.